figured I would give us. Whoa, hey, welcome everyone to the place to be. This is Jimmy G. Got some really great people here with us today. I figured I'd give us a little 80s vibe. I didn't know if I wanted to go with that or some good old like cardboard throwing down old school hip hop. I just didn't know which way to go on that. But if y'all want to introduce yourself, Norbs, I'll let you go first. If you want to just kind of give us a little introduction, tell people where they can find you.
All right. I'm Doc Hessner's Galactic Hooligan. Tonight, I'm actually streaming this right over to my group, right? And I know I didn't give you guys any advance notice. I just came on. I was just like, here I am. Let's see what happens, But you can always find me on YouTube as Doc Hessner's Activate. I'm on a hiatus right now. I promise I'll come back one day. Also, you can actually find us over in the Transformers Hooligans Hangout. You can also find me on Doc Hessner's Activate on X and Blue Sky and on Instagram, and I'll actually be right there and everything. I'll be sharing some more art pretty soon. I'll be sharing some more stuff and everything because I'm actually working really diligently on my side with doing a few things. So that's it right there. We're talking these guys right here, 80s cartoons tonight.
80s cartoons.
Yep.
And then Eric B. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
First of all, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Derek B. coming straight in from the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, where we have a variety of shows there for you, from all the way from entertainment, talking about Transformers, talking about dioramas, doing customs, and just talking about what's going on in the community at this time. Check us all out at the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, our flagship show, Enter the Realm, on Monday nights, 8 p.m. On Tuesday, every other Tuesday, we do You Even Transform, Bro? Do you? And we also have on Wednesdays, we have Shelf Gravy, where we talk about what we have our creators on there, just being creative, doing dioramas, doing everything that's creative for your displays and all of that good stuff. Check that out on Wednesday nights. And on the alternate Wednesday nights, we have Figure Banging, where we take the latest and greatest figure that's out right now and then doing a live opinion show on it and doing a live either transformation, if it's a transformer, if it's a regular figure, just doing the basic steps of articulation and showing all the good stuff that happens with that figure, and just a live opinion on that particular thing. Also, on Friday nights is where it gets crazy wild. Wild, where we do a live hangout where we have all the members of the Realm of Collectors. And if you want to join in on the live hangout, you'll be able to do so and just get crazy in conversation and talking about what's going on in the community. And on the alternate Friday, on the main show for Friday, is the Realm Hatton Project. Check that show out as well, where we talk about all the latest and greatest topics that's going on, or they come up with topics that they just want to talk about that they feel that the community wants to talk about. So, but yeah, check us out on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel.
Awesome. That's a lot of stuff that you guys got going on. Mm-hmm. Did you do the Ryobot on that figure banging show?
No, we did it. Okay, so we also do
I fucking love that so much.
We do a pop-up show called Right Out the Box, and we did the Ryobot Voltron, which is sitting right over there looking at me angrily. We did that on that show. As a matter of fact, I may bring it over here just for the shit.
Yeah, just hold it by its legs.
Yeah, we got right, exactly. So yeah, I haven't sold it yet. I haven't been fortunate enough to sell it yet, but it's on its way out the door as it keeps looking at me, Lee. Evilly right now. You would think it was the all black shattered glass Voltron the way it's acting right now, but that's okay. But we'll probably get to look at it later on today if we're lucky.
I think I may keep him and just keep it in lion mode. Once Blitzway's Legendary Defender comes out, I'll keep that in lion mode.
You know what? And I thought about that too, and that's probably the better way to go with it. So because you don't want to feel like you wasted your money on it.
I know, right? But, because you're not gonna get back what
first
you paid
off.
For that, baby.
Nah.
What's up, Dwarves?
What's up, man?
First off, I love the name of the finger banging show. That's actually probably just like top notch naming right there and everything. Like chef's kiss right there.
We just had a show on Wednesday, and we did the fans hobby. The Pretender.
Metal Hawk.
Metal Hawk. Yeah, we did. They did Metal. I'm not on that show, but they did Metal Hawk. and did a live review of that one. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Another
So
great.
yeah, check that out when you get.
Nice,
I send you the link.
nice,
There we
nice.
go.
Second off,
There we go.
what,
Yeah.
absolutely, I would love to see that. Second
Yeah.
off, right? So like, as we're talking about like old the '80s nostalgia and everything like that, we're talking about like throwing out cardboard and start breaking dancing. I was just like, oh shit, I can actually start doing the transform, you know, and then what like shows me back my popping days. I don't know. I was never good.
Now the only popping is like, oh my gosh, I'm
I know,
hurting,
my
getting out of
knee.
bed. So all of y'all that are watching this show about the 80s, you're probably experiencing that popping and locking right now
Yep.
too as well.
Sure
So
are.
and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about 80s cartoons and get into that that golden age of beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning bliss when you had your sugar-fied cereal and you just sat there for about 4
Oh, I
hours
missed
straight
that.
just watching those cartoons, or until your dad kicked you off and he started watching his westerns. So
For the game.
or the game, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'd love to open this up for y'all. Like, what was the show? What was your routine? Like when you got up as a kid, what was your routine? What was your go-to cereal? And what was that show that you just could not wait till it came on? You can't use Transformers. I know that's a good one, but can't use that one. But what is that one 80s cartoon that you're like, oh, this is great? Whoever wants to
Ready?
go first,
Mighty
go for it.
Hey,
Orbots,
North.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
Mighty Orbots,
Mighty
really?
Orbots, right off
Okay.
the bat. You know, like it's not Transformers, it's not Voltron, it's someplace in the middle, and it was sweet. Let me tell you something. Everything about that show was opulent, and I was sad. How long did it last? Like, what was it? Like 6 episodes or 8 episodes or something like that?
It
And
wasn't
just
long.
died?
It was a few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't long, and
And
it took a lot of inspiration from Godmars back, the
Yes, it
Japanese
did.
one.
It did.
It did. It did.
Yeah,
And
Norbs is
like
dead.
everything about that thing was just they actually had like an oh there wait am I still connected?
you are still
Yeah,
connected.
it's
It's
like
just
you're
a little
coming in
lag.
and out.
Yeah, that's all right. All right.
Okay, good. All of a sudden I saw something over here on Restream that said, "Oops, you're disconnected," and I was just like, "What?" No, but that thing was just beautiful altogether. Like the art was actually amazing. Everything that they were like the bright and beautiful art that I'm actually loving, like from everything that I've actually loved that was 80s was actually right in Mighty Orbots, wrapped up in just like a beautiful little package transformation sequence. What that was actually one of the best things that you could have actually seen on TV.
That's it. Yeah, that was a great show. It was a really good one. What about you,
Indeed.
Derek? What was yours?
So-
oh yeah, go for it.
So for Saturday morning, first of all, when I wake up in the morning, I have got to have one of these cereals. I got to have my Crunch Berries,
Oh yes.
that, or my peanut butter crunch. It
I
was all
remember
Captain.
those.
All my cereals were Captain Crunch related. It was just like I don't need nothing else. I was never in the Fruity Pebbles and the Pebbles cereals and that chocolate crap. I don't. I call it crap. I just didn't. It just not like the taste of it. But Captain Crunch was my cereal. My go-to was always the Crunch Berries. But I'm gonna talk about this show. I'm gonna open up with this show because it came out with a cereal with it as well. So there was a myth. Did you know that? First of all, Mr. T.
Yeah.
Remember the cartoon?
Yeah.
Yes!
Cartoon?
Oh yes.
Yeah. That was a cartoon I used to watch on Saturday mornings because you can only see it on Saturday mornings for me at least. But Mr. T had a cereal. I don't know if
Yes.
you
Yes,
knew
he
that.
did.
And it tasted, and it was from the same make. It pretty much all the video game cereals was from the same maker. I just can't remember who it was, but Mr. T, Donkey Kong, and there was a couple of
remember that
other
one.
cereals that were all pretty much off the same line. Oh yeah, then you had Frankenberry, you had Count Chocula,
That was
and then
my
you had
cereal.
Mr. Blueberry. Yeah, all of them. Yeah, but yeah, man, it was just like
Oh.
were the cereals those were the cereals that I had in my house, particularly for Saturday mornings.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
watching
Those
Mr.
were the good
T
ones.
while watching Mr. T while eating Mr. T cereal was the best. It
And
was the
one
absolute
of the things I loved about 80s cartoons is at the end, they always had that morality lesson, right?
yes.
Like Mr. T had that, and of course G.I. Joe, all of those had
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
morality lesson at the end. You're
Yep.
like, wow, now I'm a better person as a,
Mhm.
you know, just an 8-year-old,
Yep.
then you go and fight with your friends over your toys and stuff like that too as well.
Mhm.
And we got a couple people in the chat. Brick Builders in the house. How's it going, Brick
Brick
Builder?
Builder,
Yeah, and then we got Thunder Kraken.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
up?
Thunder
What up,
Kraken,
Brett?
nice.
that's it.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say, Derek? It looked like you had something on your mind.
So what's the amazing thing about our Gen X generation? We were taught how to be good citizens, good kids back in the day. They don't have that like they do.
No.
They don't
Mhm.
have that nowadays. But I think that's why we were so well rounded, and we don't need as many medications and shots and all that type stuff because we lived off the street.
That's
You went
it.
outside.
That's it.
You got exposed to the atmosphere where your body took everything in. You weren't in the house all the time until Nintendo came out. So we were all outside just having fun, rolling around in the dirt and just taking it all in. It's just like that was the best time. The best time to grow up as a kid was
Oh
the
yeah.
80's,
Oh yeah.
hands down. I put that against
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, the
yeah.
best time.
Mhm.
I mean, go outside, don't have to come in until the lights come on,
Right.
the street
The
lights.
street
It was
lights, yep.
yeah. That was great.
Love it.
So I've got a video kind of montage for you. I had to remove the audio because I would have got a copyright strike on it.
Okay.
So, but I put my own like kind of music into it. But this will kind of get us pumped. Maybe bring those remembrances of all those cartoons of old. And now when we get to talking about, and I have some slides that I'll show too, you're gonna have to drop your man card on a few of these because
Mm,
there are some in there that you're gonna be like, yeah, I
I
did
did
watch that
watch
one.
that.
Yep,
Well, I
yep,
know
yep,
Gem. That was
absolutely.
mine.
Look,
Gem,
Yeah.
hey, Norms, I was about to say, I did watch Jim. I
that's
did.
it.
Right?
Gem
I
And
was
was
you
great.
can't deny
yeah.
her, you know?
Oh
That
yeah,
started my
Yeah.
that started my love for pink-haired women. So like there you
Yeah.
go.
Ah,
I
yep,
think
there
I
it
think she
is.
was our introduction to
There it
puberty a
is.
little bit too as well. So
Mhm.
Yep.
Fishy, what's happening, dude? 90s kid. That's all right. We forgive you. But let's watch this here really quickly. And I'm curious to hear y'all's reactions as we go through this.
Nah, turtles.
There it
yeah.
is.
Oh, there's just my girl. There's my girl.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
80s without Thundercats and the real.
I always thought that these Ghostbusters were the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Supposed to have a group.
Yep.
Rainbow Bright. Oh my God. That's my sister's show.
There we go.
Yeah, Robotech.
Macross? Yeah.
Oh, no. That's Rambo.
There was Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah. There he is.
There he
Mr.
is.
T.
See, DuckTales.
This
Who's
one I
that
like.
guy?
Oh, that
Yeah.
is Smurfs.
There's Smurfs. Yep. That was that Count Duckula.
Count
The John
Duckula.
Candy show. And then there's
Yeah.
April.
Yeah, Chip and Dale. Oh no,
Oh, he's so
Chip
smart.
and Dale.
Dungeons and Dragons was my shit.
Yeah. Shira.
I'll be surprised if we put pole position in this.
I know, right?
Oh yeah. Is that the Magic School Bus?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Visionary.
Visionaries. Yep. And G.I. Joe, of course. Care Bears.
Cousins. There goes my guy.
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks were dope.
Yeah. Super Friends. Yeah. Alvin and the Chipmunks, of course. That was another Saturday morning one. for
Oh
me, too.
shoot.
Yo, I forgot Alf had a cartoon.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Gummy Bears. Yep.
There he
And
is.
Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scooby
Scooby
Doo.
and Scrappy.
Scooby and Scrappy, yeah. My Little Pony.
That's where we get the bronies from.
Yeah. Muppet Babies.
Danger Mouse
Oh.
and the Ewoks.
RoboCop. I forgot. I keep forgetting RoboCop. had a cartoon
California
too.
Race. Oh yeah, Fat Album.
Oh yeah.
Rock Festival. Come on, y'all. I don't want to be the only one saying these. They some real boys. Cookie Brewster. Yo,
It's it.
who's that?
There we go.
There's my guys.
I don't know this one right here.
No.
What is that?
The Teddy Ruxpin right
Teddy
there.
Ruxpin.
Berenstein Bears.
Berenstein Bears.
Kids Incorporated.
It's incorporated.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. He's clear.
Munchie Cheese.
Monkey Cheese.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
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 Galaxy Rangers was that was amazing.
Man, yeah.
Dinosaurs.
Yep.
Yep. Spider-Man.
Flintstone Kids,
Flintstones.
Thundar the
Oh, there's
Barbarian.
Thundar right there.
G-Force, Cops.
More Munchie Cheese.
Yeah. G-Force or no,
Yeah.
it was no. What were they? What were they?
Space Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Yeah. Pride of the X-Men. and
Good
then
old
Gobots.
GoBots.
Yep.
Good old Tom
Jerry.
Berry. Yeah.
Going too fast.
It's going. Yeah.
Yep. Ionic 6.
Bionic 6 was
Yeah.
amazing too.
It's bringing them all through now. It's like, uh-oh. There she is, man. There it is.
I actually think Bionic 6 actually needs a resurgence.
Yeah, it do. It really do.
Yeah.
It really do.
That and
Well,
we
of
need to
course,
like do a.
He's
this
a
little logo
researcher.
right here at the end.
Uh-huh.
That I kind of think like Thunder the Barbarian actually is overdue for live action.
Yep, absolutely. And so thank you to Vila
What a
Sheldon.
guy.
That was his little compilation that he put in on his YouTube channel.
Shout out.
Yeah.
So
You know,
shout
when
out
you're
to
talking
him.
about your own, when you're talking about your own music, I'm thinking you were going to go a cappella 4-part harmony.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I thought about that, a little barbershop quartet, but
Right.
you don't want to hear that. So, so
How
I
you
just tried
know?
to find the, I just tried to find the most 80s kind of sounding music that I could and just kind of went with that. So, but man, what a trip down memory lane on that.
Indeed.
So, which ones kind of stuck out to you there? Which ones kind of, I know for me, of course, Voltron, when the head, it just, it was like, oh my God, when they formed Voltron, you knew it was over. The blazing sword comes out,
Yeah.
boom, Roe Beast is dead. The world is saved for that day. So, but what was the one that kind of stuck out to you that you go, man, I forgot about that one?
Galaxy Rangers.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about.
How-
Man, because Galaxy Rangers
Tweet
was a
about
dope.
Galaxy Rangers.
Man, we were talking about resurgences of shows and even the toy lines and whatnot. Galaxy Rangers, I don't think they ever had a toy line. I don't think they did, but it would be cool for somebody to do something with Galaxy Rangers now.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I would have actually loved to.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I would have loved to see the same people that actually do Bionic 6 actually do Galaxy Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that would have actually been a great tie-in,
Mm-hmm. It would have been. It would have been dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if someone like Ramen Toys or some Four Horsemen could kind of like make their own version.
Look. Ace is already in enough hot water. He don't need no more work. So, but I wouldn't put it past them to do something along those lines. Galaxy Ranger. I'm sure Ace has been pitched a whole lot of stuff that nobody else would try to touch.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, because I'm loving what he's doing with Mask. I tell you that.
The Machina Lab stuff. Yeah.
That.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So Norbs, what was the one that kind of you looked and went, oh man, I forgot about that one?
Well, let me tell you something. I didn't forget about like a lot of those like toys and like a lot of the cartoons that actually came out from there were just amazing. Thunder the Barbarian keeps instead like that was like the first thing that would actually start off with in the morning and everything, because like that whole thing of that whole entire montage, that whole entire thing of like them using like mixing magic and like super science and everything always caught me and everything, like that was actually like always the best thing in the world to me. And I just really thought that they could have actually used some toys when Bionic 6 was actually out, one of the things I loved about that is that they actually used to have like the die-cast metal figures. Like nobody was actually doing that back in the day except for Bionic
Mm.
6, you know? I completely forgot about Berenstein Bears. I completely almost forgot about like actually I didn't even know what that one koala bear was. What was that
I
koala
have
Yeah, I
bear?
no
don't know what
clue. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know.
in the
Yeah. There
chat
was that
knows. I
other
don't
thing.
know, but I didn't know about that one
Yeah.
at all.
If anybody knows who that koala bear was, I'm actually super interested. Kid,
Kids
what was that
Incorporated
again?
or
Oh
Kid
yeah,
Video
Video?
or
I
Was it
forgot
whatever.
Kid
about
Video? Or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Kid.
yeah.
my
That one was
radio to
yeah.
my radio. Yeah, that was
And I
Singing
noticed
all
that
the
someone
theme
actually
songs.
said, I know somebody actually said, who snuck a 90s X-Men in there? You know, they were 80s. They were
Yeah.
80s.
1989, I believe.
it was
Yeah.
89. It was right
Snuck
on the
right
tail. It
in.
was right on the tail end. Yeah.
Snuck right in. It's okay if we pepper, a couple early 90s in there. It's all right. But for me, it just was, I forgot about like the ABC lineup with Gummy Bears.
Hmm.
You had DuckTales, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, and then the Ewoks cartoon.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then Rambo had his own cartoon, which
Yep.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that was
Mm.
my first rated R movie was First Blood. My dad actually let me watch that with him. And I was
Wow.
just like, that was like, oh man, I feel like I'm special. I'm the adult now or
Yeah.
whatever. And then Rambo comes out with a cartoon and it's nothing like, that one there. So, but
Although, when I was a kid watching the Rambo cartoon, I was always expecting something to happen the end of Rambo cartoon where he actually goes back to a Vietnam flashback and all of a sudden starts like messing stuff up in the cartoon.
that would have been bad, dude. That would have
Right?
been bad. That would have been bad. So
Speaking of
This was me as a kid thinking about this, you know? So, yeah.
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So I got a few slides here that we'll show you here, and that
Okay.
way you can kind of go down a little bit of memory lane here. And so we'll start off with the first one. Of course, the first one first aired in 1984. Good
Mm.
old Transformers.
Yeah.
So what was little when you think back to little Derek and little Norbs. When you first saw Transformers, what went through your mind and what went through your heart? I know for me, it was just like, this is so cool. A car and a robot at the same time.
Yeah.
This I've got to have it. I've got to have it. And it was designed to sell toys. So
Mhm.
that cartoon was, but that kind of is what inspired a lot of us to do our channels too, is Transformers. And
Yeah.
so let's start with whoever wants to start. Tell me about it. Transformers, man. Let's talk a little bit and let's get it out of our system.
Derek, you want to go first? Or
Sure, I'll go first. So for me, Transformers was that show where it was just like, okay, it's robots. We were already watching GoBots at the time. And it was just like, okay, where is this one gonna go? Because GoBots was,
Yeah.
really cartoony. It was, really kiddie, but Transformers was on another level. And you gotta appreciate what GoBots did because it made Transformers that much more likable.
mm,
Um, because it seemed like it was a more it was like a darker version of a robot show, than what GoBots had presented.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drew everybody towards Transformers than, GoBots. Although you did still watch both shows, it was just a, darker premise for it. Transformers, ever since day one, I've been hooked, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
still hooked. It's like every Transformers show that come out now, I gotta watch it, whether I'm gonna like it or not. I still gotta watch it. This has some hits and misses, but Transformers 84 G1, I remember vividly coming home from school, watching the first episode that Monday. It was the 16th or the 17th of September because it was days before my birthday on the 20th. I was 9 years old. 9 years old. And, coming home from school, watching that, and it was the greatest afternoon of my life, I felt like.
mhm.
Oh
So,
wow. Yeah.
yeah, it was like, I didn't even do my homework yet. And I was supposed to do my homework when I got home, but I did not. I just went straight to the TV, start watching that show because we've been all talking. You seen the commercials, you seen all the fanfare for it. It was just like, yo, when this come out, man, we all gonna be home. And when we finished watching it, everybody came outside after that. All the fellas came outside after that. We was talking about it, talking about the characters, and yo, man, yo, and then they start talking about the toys later, and we getting the toys. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all
Mhm.
that and popping,
Yeah,
man. But
you
yeah,
if you had Megatron or Optimus Prime, you were like the belle of the
mhm,
ball with your friends there.
yep,
So,
Yeah, yeah, you
yeah,
were.
I was the guy that had like all the little mini ones like Swerve and Outback because that's all I could afford was those guys. Which was your first Transformer, Derek?
my very first Transformer was, I believe it was Bumblebee because I had gotten a lot of GoBots at that point, and I was just given GoBots because of the price. Because
Yeah.
if you remember, also Transformers weren't cheap
Oh
during
yeah.
that time,
Mhm.
and so for me to get a Bumblebee because they were the carded figures.
Yep.
Anything when they were in the box, they were like 20, they were like 15, $20, and back then that was expensive for a parent to pay for a toy.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
so if you see something, if you can get a toy for like 5, 6, 7, $8, and it's on card, and that's what usually with the GoBots were. That's what you were getting. But the mini bots, the mini transformers, your bumblebees, your cliff jumpers, your bronze,
Yep. Those are
your
mine too.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of those, all the smaller bots, those are the ones that you got that I got. I would say when season 2 came out, my birthday came around that time, and Blaster had released. I absolutely wanted a Blaster
Oh yeah.
because Blaster, I know Jazz was a I knew Jazz was a brother already, but they could
Mhm.
never find a Jazz for me. So when Blaster came out and it was my birthday, it was time to hit KB Toys. Time to hit KB Toys. I said, "That's all I want." I said, "All I want is a blaster." So yeah, we got that blaster. I still got that blaster.
That's
I got the
awesome.
very
Nice.
same blaster I've had since I got on my birthday, and I've
That
never
is
separated
awesome.
from it.
That
Yeah,
is awesome.
it's beat up, but it's still here. So, but yeah,
That's
every time I go, anytime I see a blaster or in some form, I gotta get it. I
oh
gotta
yeah.
get it.
I get
Yeah,
it.
That's the way I
but
am with
yeah,
Sideswipe.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So yeah, that was so Bumblebee was my absolute first Transformer, but Blaster is my absolute favorite.
Yeah. Norbs.
So this is what happened with me when I was actually like I was already sort of introduced to everything simultaneously all at the same time. So it was the commercials, and then there were the comics with the silhouettes of the Transformers and everything, and I was just like, oh, what's going on here? You know? And then so like and I was already introduced to ROM. I was already introduced to Micronauts. I was already introduced to Shogun Warriors and Godzilla. So giant robots and everything was already in my blood, right? So
Yeah.
by the time I actually got to Transformers, it was magic on screen seeing the first scenes where they actually transformed in the intro, and I was just like, oh my god, what is this? You know,
Yeah.
the actual the actual like beginning commercials was actually just them like fluidly transforming from vehicular mode into robot mode and everything, and it was just like one of the most beautiful things. It was like a dance to me and everything like that. Every time I saw them popping up on the screen, I couldn't get enough of like each and everything that they were actually doing. That theme song just like hit, like it was just like the most amazing thing. And to me, Transformers wasn't necessarily a robot story or anything like that. It to me,
Mhm.
it's always a story about aliens. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
but biomechanical aliens nonetheless and everything like that. But it's always an alien story first, mech story later and everything. But it's always about sentient AI or sentient like I being being there and everything like that, being present and everything, being like having like emotions and feelings and everything like that that conveyed with us and everything like that. You know what I mean? Best hero was Optimus Prime
Yeah.
Mhm.
still till today and everything like that. I still love. My first Transformer I actually got was Ironhide, amongst all of the race
I'm
cars and
sorry.
everything like that. Right? I explained this last week. My parents said, "Here, stay in your lane, kid," and gave me Ironhide. I was just like, I was like, look at it. I was like, God damn it.
Wow.
But I was actually still one of the first ones to get a transformer in my like on my
Okay.
block and everything. I think I kind of started like the Transformers love for everyone, so they all wanted to get Transformers, and then Like the one that I've always wanted was Prowl, but for some reason, even now, I think Ironhide's actually kind of like grown on me a lot. Where like sometimes I find myself secretly going out in shame with like my hoodie and everything like that, and getting an Ironhide. Like,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now I saw Derek, you went and grabbed a Voltron.
yeah.
Are we getting ready to have a vehicle Voltron versus Lion Force here or
Oh no,
something?
I was gonna be like, okay, you know what? He's got his vehicle Voltron out, and I don't want to take mine out the case, but I did have this one out. So this is the
Uh,
oh no, this is the
Jealous.
Muscle Bear one.
Muscle Bear, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, Jimmy was still talking me into that one. I want it. I want it.
dude,
Yeah.
this is the Muscle Bear one. I'm gonna tell you right now, I love playing with this one. I mean,
Yep.
it's absolutely amazing. It's an amazing one because if you don't want to, because that your Blitzway one is premium.
Yeah.
You don't want to play too much with that one, and you'll know you anybody that knows me know the differences between when I'm playing with the Muscle Bear one and that one. First of all, don't play with the Blitzway one at all. Second one, if you don't see it, I don't handle that one without white gloves. So
Yeah.
I gotta have
Yep.
I gotta have gloves on when I'm playing with the when I'm doing anything, even when I'm cleaning it. When I'm brushing off, it rarely gets dusty in this case. But if I do have to clean it or anything like that, I still got my white gloves on as I'm
Right.
touching that one. Because
Yep.
that is the very definition of premium
Yes,
right
it
there.
is. Yep.
That Blitzway Voltron, yeah. But nah, man, I love playing with this one. I can't wait until they do the vehicle team, either
Yes.
company. But in the meantime, just like I got my Solar to Joke and a vehicle team Voltron, which is absolutely amazing as well. So
Absolutely.
I won this one
Absolutely.
from Jimmy's group, so like thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. At the underground, man.
Oh,
That's where
okay. Yeah, shout
that's
out to
the
the
place.
underground.
That's it. So
Yeah.
and mine,
I
yeah, go for it.
No,
What's
I was saying I was still contemplating like driving like Jimmy's mom from where she was over to Tennessee. I will still drive out to Tennessee to drive your mom everywhere. That's how much this.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Thank God for
Yeah.
moms because they're the ones that helped fuel our sugar rage with while we were watching them cartoons. So let's move on to some
Yep.
of these other ones here. So here we go. DuckTales
Uh-huh.
first aired 1987. So this was kind of towards the end of my cartoon phase a little bit, but I still watched it. It was still it's still a great show. Scrooge McDuck. Who all didn't want to jump in a vault full of gold and just kind of swim
Yeah.
in that, right?
True.
Yeah.
So any of y'all DuckTales fans?
Yeah.
You know,
No, I like DuckTales. I did like DuckTales. I think the best thing that came out of DuckTales was Gizmo Duck, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gizmo
Yes.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I didn't really get into Ducktales as much, and good who is not with us anymore. He was actually super
Mm.
into Ducktales and just really turned me on to. Oh, I didn't know this was amazing, and she was like, "I told you," you know. So yeah,
That's it.
Ducktales
That's
was
it.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And for all of you that had the opportunity to jump in a big room full of coins, I hope you didn't get hurt because that's not a real thing.
That's it.
Coins are
That's
not that
it.
soft.
I'm
And
only understanding that now.
that is make believe. If you were really in a pool of coins and you
Yeah,
try to dive in that bug,
you were
yeah,
dead.
I will attend your funeral or I will visit you at the hospital the very next day because that's where you're going to be.
That's it. That's
So,
it. I think the closest I've seen was on Breaking Bad when those two guys were moving his money and they just kind of laid on the big pile of bills,
mhm.
just that kind of
Yeah,
thing there. So,
yeah,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my
yes,
friends. What's the theme
yes.
song? Teenage Mutant
Ninja
Ninja
Turtles, Teenage
Heroes
Mutant
in the
Ninja
house.
Turtles.
Turtle
Turtle
I
power.
Power.
went.
This was great. I mean, because as a kid, I did start collecting the comics a little bit late, and there was just an indie comic book. I wish I had that. I wish I would have had that number one because that thing is so rare. But
Mm,
when the cartoon came out, it just legitimized it. And the toys, my friend, the toys
Mm-hmm.
were great. So, favorite Ninja Turtle, which one is yours? Mine is. It would have to be. I love Leonardo. I love the
mhm.
katanas. He's my favorite on there, but who's your favorite?
My
Mikey.
favorite was Oh, Mikey, you like
Hmm.
Mikey? Yeah.
Mikey, always. Sorry, broken. Sorry. Go ahead.
Don Donnie's mine because he's the tech guy of the group.
Yeah.
So, and that's who I look at me as. I look at me as a tech. Well, I am a tech guy, so so yeah,
Yeah.
Donnie was definitely my favorite because I was always digging whatever he was making. He was the means of them being able to do all the things that they were able to do, whether it be for communications or transportation. Yeah, Donnie was that dude. So yeah.
He was. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll
But
say for a
yeah,
while
go for it.
when I was in school, there wasn't a moment where I wasn't drawing Ninja Turtles in every single book that I actually owned and everything on the borders and everything
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, so like I got to be an expert in drawing those guys. You know?
that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it.
I wanna go on to say I actually wanna add this too. Nobody really liked Raphael until the movie came out.
That is true.
I wanted
Yeah.
I challenge anybody that said they like that Raphael on the 87 show was their favorite character. I was like, "Nah, y'all didn't really start liking Raphael until the movie came out." So
I'm seeing New York Hunter over there saying
Yeah.
Raph. So
New
let's
York Times.
see.
New York
see,
Times saying
yeah,
right.
okay, yeah, Raph.
So
Yeah,
did
yeah,
did you
New
did
York
you
Hunter.
start liking him because of the movie, or was it before the movie? And why? That's what we got to find
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
I really wanna know why he was your favorite character,
That's it.
when it was just a cartoon.
That's it, man.
Because nobody even paid attention to Raphael.
Yeah.
It was like he had no personality. He had no real personality that set him aside to be like, okay.
Okay, he was learning Psy.
Ah.
All right, there
No,
we
no,
go.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, that's not good enough. No,
I was
sorry,
That's
actually
not
learning
sorry,
good.
that's
nunchaku
not
at the
good enough.
time too and everything, so I get it.
Because the Sire was the most boring weapon as well. So yeah, no, it was no.
Actually, you'd be wrong. The
Anybody that's
Psy. Ah,
huh?
really? No, the Psy actually has multiple uses.
Yeah, but it was the most boring weapon. It was the most boring weapon the way he was using it. So it was just like, okay, nah, no. I'd rather have a sword. I'd rather have swords, nunchucks, and even the bow staff
Even a
outweigh that
stick.
side the way that they had him using it. Yeah, but
That's it.
we talk about that all night. You don't want to get stuck with that. Yeah.
Oh,
Thundercats.
yeah, you don't even have to ask.
That's
Oh,
it. There we go. There we
You
go. You
don't
yeah,
know,
even
Arf.
need to ask.
That's
Thundercats
it.
was the shit.
It was. It was
yeah,
one of those shows. Now, I grew up in a very kind of religious home. And
Hmm.
mhm,
so this was one of those that I kind of had to watch and make sure mom and dad did not see,
yeah,
because there were some, there's some different kind of tones to it and things like that. But
Hmm.
man, so cool. If my cats were like Thundercats, I would definitely be a cat person, but they're not. So,
Oh, wait,
uh,
did you ever see this? Hold on. Did you ever see the skit where Lion-O is actually like a real character and what was it from Robot Chicken or something?
yeah.
more than
You
likely.
don't want the
Yep.
Thundercats as a real pet,
No,
you know?
no, no, no. And then of course, who didn't have a crush on Chitara, right? So,
You're
Right.
right.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And we're like,
I'm
is
l
she
le
wearing
hey,
clothes?
yo, let's really talk about it. The first episode when they ain't had no clothes on, and
Mm-hmm.
then she
Yeah.
came out there, every teenage boy was watching this episode like, "Yeah, this is gonna be my favorite cartoon for life. I'm gonna watch this one,
I'm
man."
hooked.
She's just walking around like that? Really?
Right.
Okay. And then,
Get off
And
of
yo,
then
when
Lino.
Jaga put clothes on and everybody was like, "Yo,
and then
come
there's a
on,
knock at
man."
young Norv's door, and we're just like, "What do you want? I'm in
Wash
that's
your socks.
that's
Anyway, so but but yeah,
man.
Thundercats. First of all, the the theme for the show,
Mm-hmm.
the theme song for the show. If that didn't get you interested in
You're
watching
like,
the show, then I don't know what was because that theme song itself is fire,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
fire. Yo,
There,
come
I
on,
I
man.
could tell you right now that no other cartoon decades theme songs can match 80's cartoon theme songs. And
You're
Thundercats
absolutely
was
right.
right up there, like
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
probably top 5
yep,
in that. So, but yeah, Thundercats was the bee's knees on there. And then, of
yeah.
course, The
Uh,
Smurfs.
we were actually trying to soften our grip on guns and everything from Megatron and
Uh-huh.
everything, and everything
Mhm.
had to be kind and sweet.
Yeah.
But this was that when you started growing up as a kid and you became a teenager and you were like, there was one girl Smurf amongst all of them.
Yeah.
So
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
some people call him Big Papa, right? So that was
Right.
that's it. So
Right.
but definitely the Smurfs was one of those. I could relate to Clumsy Smurf. I was a clumsy kid.
Hmm.
That was
Yeah.
me, and I always had I had the Smurf stickers, the puffy stickers. I had those on my Trapper Keeper
Yeah.
as a kid too, as well. So everyone else had some cooler stickers. I had Smurfs. So anyway,
Every episode that I had to watch Brainy Smurf, then I wanted to smack the shit. I was like, yo, what a smart ass. Yo,
Listen,
this dude need to be slapped.
listen.
Oh,
Everybody knew that Gargamel was actually the real hero in the whole entire thing. You know,
that's
like
pretty
it.
much.
That's
Pretty
it.
much.
That's it. He
Yeah.
was misunderstood. He was
he
misunderstood.
was.
That's
But
it.
yo,
So
man, him wanting to eat Smurfs and everything, man. I was like, yo, dude, you wildin' though. Yeah, I was like, yo, you want to eat Smurfs? Come
they
on,
taste
man.
like chicken. All
Right.
right, so He-Man and the Masters of the
Yeah.
Universe. And so again, man, just a really, really great show. Great toys. I had my
Mhm.
first He-Man toy was I didn't get the first run, but I had the battle damage one. The one that
Mm.
the armor had
Yeah.
when you pushed on it that
When you
caused the
push it and
battle
it flips
damage.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't
Mhm.
have many He-Man toys, but that was one I
Yeah,
had
me
of
either.
him and Man at Arms. That one there. So
Mhm.
I had
um
no He-Man toys, as a matter of fact.
none.
What?
Really?
Love the show. Love the show, but I just never had the toys.
Yeah.
Wow. I think
Yeah.
my I think I actually had He-Man. I had Skeletor. I had Figor.
Mhm.
You know, the blue
Yeah.
version of
Yeah.
He-Man too, and
Mhm.
everything. I always wanted a Roboto. Never got
Yeah.
those two, and those actually always killed me. Yeah, and then I saw a Stratos over in the store just like maybe like months ago and everything before they actually started revamping the line. I was just like,
Mhm.
maybe I should get them. Just never did. It's kind of like
Mm,
point of contention with
gotcha.
me right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
tell you
why
though,
it's coming.
Mondo,
Yes.
the vinyl
Mondo's.
thing, Mondo's doing an outstanding job with the He-Man figures now.
Yeah, they
So
are.
And now Thundercats too,
yeah, and
man.
now Thundercats, and they've
Mhm.
been knocking out the park with X-Men already because I got most of the X-Men ones,
I
but
missed out on
now
the
I'm
X-Men
missing a couple of
97.
those. But
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you, they've been knocking He-Man out the park too because that buzz off, whoo,
Oh
man,
yeah, that buzz off is beautiful.
that buzz off is dope,
That's
man.
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, but yeah, He-Man's was joined back in the day,
And then of course,
and of course,
She-Ra.
because the
Yeah.
girls had
She-Ra.
to have their fun too,
Yeah, I
you
watch
know.
She-Ra for other reasons. So
Don't knock at the door.
Hey, Jimmy, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but
I'm not afraid to lose my man card on this one. So
hey,
uh,
hey, 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 hey.
that's it. That's it. So let's
Uh,
go on. Let's move on. Da-da-da-da-da, dun, dun, dun,
Inspector
dun.
Gadget. Dun, dun,
That's
dun,
it.
dun, 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 dun. Woo,
Now,
woo.
I don't remember, did we ever get to see Claw?
No, you never saw him.
Never did.
You
That was the
never
whole
saw him.
mystery.
I don't think we ever
Yeah.
did.
That
Yeah,
was the
no.
whole mystery, wanting to see him, and I would just be
Dr.
curious.
Claw?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dr. Claw. I wonder what he
yeah.
looked like. I wonder what he
Nobody's
was.
ever seen what he looked like.
Yeah. What do you think he looked like?
Um, Death and despair, the way he sounded, man.
He smoked too many marbles, and he's like,
Yeah, yeah. I know
Gadget.
he was
I'd
voiced
like to
by
think
Frank
98 pound
Welker.
weakling.
yes, he was. He was
Yeah.
Was he really? Wow.
absolutely.
I'd like to think 98 pound weakling, bottle cap glasses.
Maybe.
That's it.
Maybe.
That's it. There we go. Chipping.
Although, if they ever make a figure of, I'm sorry, if they ever make a figure of Dr. Claw, I just want it to be just one arm with a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And
That's it.
the chair turned around with the
That's it.
arm coming
Right.
off to the side and him stroking
Right.
his cat. What was the cat's name?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Was
If
it
anyone knows in the chat what the cat's name was, make sure you put it in the chat there. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Now it's going to drive us crazy.
All right.
Chip and
So
Dale's
whoever
Rescue
guesses
Rangers. Yeah.
whoever guesses it, I'll come to you personally when I first see you, give you a crisp high five.
There
All
you
right,
go.
cool.
Crisp.
Nice.
Crisp.
Nice. You can't beat
Crisp
that
one.
price.
Yeah.
Crisp.
Yeah. If it's damp, You tell them I want a refund. So, so
But Chip and
uh,
Dale,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Chippendale. It slid right under
yeah.
1989. Just made
Mhm.
it barely, but
Yep.
Yep.
really, really great. I remember just watching the Chippendale cartoons. The Disney cartoons.
Mm.
But Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Yeah,
good.
that was a dope show too.
I was watching.
Yeah.
I was watching
Yep.
the Gadget
There
Show.
we go. Garfield and Friends.
Yeah.
But that one, my friends, Garfield and Friends, and of course, his buddy Heathcliff here
Heathcliff,
too as
yep.
well. Heathcliff was the
Heathcliff.
precursor at
You know,
1984 when
Yep.
Heathcliff came out. So
And the Cadillac.
did I ever tell you all
Go
that?
ahead.
Like,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Norb's frozen again.
I was gonna say, like,
Norbs.
did I ever tell you guys that the first time I saw Clea, I realized it was a fairy?
You were
Can you
what?
hear me?
Yeah,
can hear you now.
say that one more time.
Did I ever tell you guys that the first time I saw I knew it was a furry? Just saying.
You knew you were a fur. That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Garfield got NY
Damn
Hunter
Cleo.
into lasagna. So
Wow.
who didn't? Like,
Oh,
that
nice.
was why I wanted the lasagna was Garfield.
And look, my lady Sean, she's using my other account, Direct
Yeah.
Sean Bigsby. It was Mad Cat. Okay, so I'm gonna come upstairs and give you a crisp high five. Yeah, there you
Mad
go.
Cat. There
All
we
right. Yeah,
go.
it was Mad Cat.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go. Voltron, my baby.
Yeah.
There he
Voltron.
goes.
Yes.
So what's interesting, as an adult, I am watching it in the original, the way it was intended from Japan, and it is more
Mhm.
brutal
Yeah.
than the
Yeah.
American show. Things are
Mhm.
getting
Go
beheaded.
Lion?
Yeah, Go Lion was like brutal. But yeah, and we all know the history behind this show, right? That
Mhm.
it was by accident that we got these guys.
Yeah.
We were supposed to get
You told us
we
about
were
that.
supposed to get Daltanius.
Mhm.
And the translation about "Give Me the Show with the Cats" ended up with Voltron, which was a great accident to have on that.
Yeah. It was.
So Lion Force or Vehicle Force?
Oh,
I don't know.
I like both of
I'm actually partial to both of them. Like, Life Force
Or
is amazing, but like,
the one that no one talks
true.
about is the Gladiator one, Albagos.
Yeah, you know what? And
oh,
I wish I've never even did they even have a cartoon at all?
They did.
They
It just
did.
never made it
I
to
never
the
saw
States.
it.
It never made it to the States.
I
Because
never saw
you
it.
know, because of Jimmy, I started a little bit of recaps on YouTube, and I really
Mhm.
want this show to be more mainstream now. Like, it looks great.
Yeah.
So Dairugger was Voltron 1, was the near universe. Voltron 2 was the Albagos, which is middle universe. Then Voltron 3 was Go
Yep.
Lion,
The Lion.
far
Yeah.
universe. Of course,
Mhm.
by the time Dairugger came out, it didn't do as good, and that's why they scrapped Albagos.
Mhm.
Yeah. So womp womp. Now
I
you did
think
get that. You did get the show where they were both in it. What was that called? I forgot.
yeah, it was the show itself, it was
Yeah.
called
It was
Ultron Fleet of Doom.
Fleet of Doom. Yes,
Fleet of
you
Doom.
had both
Yeah.
the vehicle and Go Lion in that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yes, Voltron will live the test of time, and that was one of those that when Netflix revived it, that was a
Mhm.
good revival. I thought.
Oh
they
yeah,
did an
Legendary
amazing
Defender
job.
was absolutely dope, man.
Absolutely.
I was literally watching it after the run was complete on Netflix. I was literally watching the entire set over every 2 months
Yeah,
because it was that good.
it was.
Until they
I don't
took it
think
off
it's on.
Netflix. It's
It's
not
not.
on
I
They
don't
Netflix.
think
took
it's
it
on
down.
Netflix anymore, and that's horrible.
Yeah,
They took it
you
down.
can only get it on digital, and it's 8 seasons. You can get on digital the first 6 seasons. They're still trying to release. They still haven't released 7 and 8 yet. And for me, season 7 was the best season
Yes.
out of the entire run.
Yes.
The whole series was absolutely amazing, but seasons, if I had to, rate it by the seasons, 7 was definitely number 1.
Absolutely.
I never got a chance to see past season 2. I don't think.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Hey,
Yeah.
no,
You need to watch it.
you got to get the digital versions now.
You got it.
Now they only got them up
It
to
gets-
6 seasons.
It gets better. It gets it was one of
way
those shows that just got better as it went along.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
Okay, so you remember how they talked about I don't know when you watch Legendary Defender, you also watch the fact that, when they got paired with their lions, their suits actually matched
Yep.
with their
Right.
lion. Okay. So, in the original series, their suits didn't match with their lions. They
They did
just
not.
it was like they just threw on the nearest suit and then just got in the lion that they were, destined to go towards it, that whatever Princess Lord gave them the key for. So,
Right.
now this story, the legendary defender story, was very detailed in explaining and showing how that all came about, because it told a story of how Keith was a Red Lion pilot, but he eventually it told the story of how he rose to his leadership,
Yeah.
and it told his story of how he became a leader and what he had to go through to become their leader, and
Hmm.
taking Shiro's place and all of that. So, I mean, the Voltron Legendary Defender is that show where if you're trying to learn who characters are, who those original characters are, that's the show that's going to teach you exactly who everyone is and introduce you to new people that you didn't know, or you thought you didn't know. And they're going to explain those characters too. I mean, the show was incredible.
It was.
Incredible.
You got to get it, Norbs. You got to
Mhm.
get it.
How did
Yeah.
how did Netflix actually lose the rights to play
So
that
it
show in the
belongs to
first place?
DreamWorks. The
Yeah.
show is
Ah,
actually a DreamWorks show, and
okay.
DreamWorks actually partnered with them to create it, but they had the original license for the show, and they only licensed it to Netflix for about 6 years or something like that. So
Oh,
when the license
sucks.
was up for them, then they took it off. But the problem was they didn't put it on any other media.
Right.
So there was the DVD sets that were already out, and then there was the digitals. But they only made on digital and DVD, they only had the first 6 seasons. They don't have 7 and 8 out. So
Uh,
every year, it's just like every month that it's been out, everybody was like, okay, when is 7 and 8 gonna get
Yep.
released? Because we still need our fix. I still need my fix because I still miss watching the show. I purposely didn't buy the digital ones because I said, soon as 7 and 8 come out, there's going to be a compilation one where they're going to have all
Oh
8
yeah.
seasons
right.
into the pack, and I want to get it at that point. You talking about look, y'all want to make some money? Y'all want to make some money? Put all 8 out, and
Yep.
you're gonna see a lot of people paying for that joint.
A
Yeah,
nice
I
collector's
guarantee it.
edition that has
Yeah.
all sorts of artwork and stuff. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But for
Or
me,
put out an ultimate collector's edition that includes the 80's and
oh
that.
man,
that'd be
you talking about
Man, boom.
come on,
nice.
money well
Kickstarter. Come
spent.
on.
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
you talk about money well spent. Yeah, that will
Oh
be
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
is it. So
All I'm saying for some of us poor folks, Netflix, DreamWorks, put it back on Netflix again. I need to
that's
see the
it. That's
show.
Look,
it.
I challenge everybody that's watching this right now. If you wanted to watch that, write a letter to DreamWorks. Matter of fact, keep watching on my socials. I'm gonna find out the address and all the emails, all the contact information for DreamWorks, and we're gonna start writing letters. We're gonna
Write them
start,
letters.
gonna do
Write
it
them
old
letters.
school. We're gonna fill up fill up the mail room with mail letters, talking about some bring this show back. Give it back to Netflix. Yeah,
That's it.
we need
That's
that
it.
back.
Derek, I don't think I follow you, but I need to follow you now because like now I need to like stalk that whole entire thing. I mean, not just like that for that, but for hang out with you
Yes,
though, my
sir.
friend. But like I really need to like actually find out more about like writing this letter. I'm gonna get a
Yep.
quill and I'm gonna like do it old parchment style and everything.
And hopefully we can all go to VoltCon together someday. So that would be
Dude,
great.
that is Volcon is on my bucket list.
Yep. Yep.
Volcon is definitely on my list of conventions to visit, man. I have got to go to a Volcon.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we
Absolutely.
go. Like I said, dropping your man card a little bit.
Okay,
Care
here it
Bear
is.
stare.
Okay,
The
Care
Care
Bears,
Bear
I'm
stare.
out.
Come
Care
on.
Bears didn't get interested in me until they brought in the other animals like the lion and
Hmm.
the other ones.
The
Yeah, the
cousins.
okay, yeah, Care Bear Cousins, that's what they were called. Because they actually had a series for
Uh,
them, and then I watched one of them where it was like this boy, he was, like, real evil and is doing, like, really crazy stuff to him, and, one of the bears was about to die, and he got all in his feelings, and he had to help him bring him back to life, and he was like, "I care," and all this stuff. I was like, come on, yo. I was like, really? Really? Come on, man. I'm literally sitting here watching this
oh,
episode. I said, okay, man, this is crazy, man. This is whack. but I couldn't turn the channel. I had to
I
see
know,
what happened. I
right?
had to find out what happened.
Right?
It was
Right? And it's one of those that, like, if your friends came in that at that time, it's like, I'm not watching this. It's my
nah, man,
sister.
because I had sisters and brothers I had a sister and a brother that's younger than me. So whatever I was watching, they were watching anyway. So,
That's it.
they were never critical about anything that I watched anyway. Because it was like,
Mm.
yo, you ain't got a choice. Sit down and shut up. Watch TV. So
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. The real Ghostbusters,
The
my
real
friend.
Ghostbusters. Not the fake ones.
The
The real
real
ones.
ones. That's
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Again, it's capitalizing on the movies, the popularity, that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
and this was designed to sell toys. I mean, the
Yep.
toys for this was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Didn't they have one that had wasn't it like the slime, like it had like Slimer had actual
Yeah.
slime, so
Mhm.
which was kind of cool
Yeah,
Shout out
on
to
that side.
I
Nickelodeon.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's where they got their slime from this concept.
Yep. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely on that. So, Alvin and the
My
Chipmunks.
dudes. My
That's it.
dudes, man. Yo.
You want to know? You want to know something low key? I had a couple of their albums. They
Yeah.
were great. Okay, don't look at me
That's it.
Me
strange.
too. I
That's
did.
it. That's
When
it.
okay, so they came out with a CD that had all their songs on it, and you can only order it online. And you can only order it.
Right.
I ordered it, and it was like because it was around the time because I was looking for Transformers the movie on the soundtrack. I was looking for the soundtrack,
Right.
and I had to order that too because you couldn't go in the record store. And I couldn't go to my record store and get it and be seen. So I had to order it, and then I ordered this one as well, and I saw it on there. As a matter of fact, do you all remember a service called Columbia House?
I
I remember
Yeah.
that, where you could actually buy 52 records for
For
$1,
$1,
for
yeah,
$1 or 1 penny or
exactly.
something,
yeah,
right?
That's how
I think
got
I'm still in
that's how I got
collections.
this album.
I think I'm still in collections with it. And I've got a cassette coming in the next couple months.
Right, yeah, it's like, yo, you bought all 50 of those CDs, and then you gotta buy the next one. Whatever comes out in the next month, it's like $12.
Yeah.
Man, I had stopped the subscription one time, and because I didn't pay for the one, because they send you the CD and also send you a bill, so you're supposed to send a money order back with the payment for that CD. I didn't send it. I didn't.
Oh, so
I
that's
didn't
how that
pay it
works.
back, so I was getting all kind of collection notices and all that. Now, mind you, I'm 18. Look, I ain't worried about bills yet. It's like,
Nobody
yo,
got time for
you
that.
cover me all you want, man. As long as I ain't got to go to court for this shit. Yo, man, shoot, you're
That's
not gonna
it.
get this $13 from me anytime soon. So yeah, you
Good old
gonna have to
Columbia
suffer.
House. That is
Yeah, man,
awesome.
Columbia
Yeah.
House was
Yeah. I
If you
think
didn't have
Oh,
Columbia House, you didn't have a CD collection. You
yeah.
didn't have a real CD collection.
true.
That's it. You did not. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Let's go on. Here we go. Thundar the
Oh.
Barbarian first made it in 1980 was when it
Mhm.
first aired. The animation was raw. It was great, but it was just there was something about it. And
Yeah.
so, Norbs, I'll let you take it away. What'd you like
Like,
about
talk to
Thundar?
him, Norbs.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me
There
just
you
bring
go.
this over here. Let me tell you something. Thunder the Barbarian was probably the best cartoon ever created. It had magic. It had demons. It had a fabulous sun sword.
Talk to him.
Like everything about that was new. And every time you actually saw it, that show
Let him
just
cook.
like really brought like all the moxie. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. The show is just like fantastic. I need for them to actually have like a live action version of it and everything like that. Thundar, Princess Ariel, Ukla the Mock. Like those characters were actually the three pinnacle characters that you could have actually had in a barbarian show, and it like every single time they actually went up, they had that villain with the two faces and everything. Like I forgot
Gemini.
exactly what that guy. Yeah, Gemini.
Yeah.
Was that his name?
Gemini. Yep.
Oh my god,
Yep.
that guy is great, and like everything about that thing was opulent, just purely opulent.
Most of the characters was named after the signs, after
The Zodiac.
birthday signs, the zodiac
No
signs.
way, I never realized that.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, if y'all want to know more, you can take Norbs' course in the University of Miami. It is a college credit. So on Thundar the Barbarian.
I'm signing people up, son. Come and see me on my class. I start at 9:30. Bring me coffee if you're late.
Oh, okay. University of Maryland? You say
Miami.
University? Oh, I thought you said University of Maryland. I was like, oh,
University
you
of
down here with me.
No,
Oh,
he's in the
I
good
wish I was taking
South.
some. I wish I was someplace cool.
man,
That's it.
Miami. No, you are in a place good school. Yeah, that's
Nah, we're all plastic here.
All right, Muppet Babies. Who watched Muppet Babies?
Yes, I
I
did.
want to
I
drive a
watched
real
Muppet
fast
Babies.
car.
It was me
Muppet
and my
Babies.
siblings' favorite show.
Yes.
One of our favorite shows. Yeah, we watched together.
And th-
My siblings, my younger siblings are 2 and 4 years apart from me. So we watched this when we were younger as well. So
Mhm.
we watched every episode. As a matter of fact, when I got when we became when we became adults, my sister had her first daughter. I literally bought her the entire box set for Muppet Babies to watch.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's sweet.
Yeah, but that was off the strength of them creating another Muppet Baby show, a more up to date one that was not that great. So I was just like,
I've
I said,
seen that
no,
one.
no, 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 don't stop letting her watch that. You know what to let her watch. So I went, I found that CD set and then bought it for her, and she put her in the front of the TV and watched that, and they just watched it together. It's such a beautiful thing. Muppet Babies was actually a cool show back in
Yeah.
the day, and that's the show that actually taught you how to take advantage of the creations of your imagination.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And
Oh
then
yeah, man.
all of us imagined what that nanny looked like too as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
Yes,
yeah,
we did. Yes, we did.
so yeah. Let me give you this. That's my man card, and you
that's
can.
it. That's
That'll
it.
be for that show. Yeah.
That's it. Well, we can get that. We can give that right back to you as we go into GI Joe.
Oh yeah. Let me get
Yeah.
that back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we
All
go.
right.
Yo, this is the only cartoon that I know of that they shot lasers, they shot guns, and nobody got hit. by one
Nobody
of
got
those
hit.
guns. Nobody. It was like they had the most amazing weapons, yet they were all like in the
No, wait a
Stormtrooper
second. You're
Academy.
forgetting about the. You're forgetting about the A-Team because
Yes.
that show actually had tons of bullets all over the place.
That was one of those. They had the most
Oh, the real
god
show.
awful.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had the most god awful crashes
Yeah.
too, like the car
Yeah.
crashes. Like there
Yeah.
would be like nothing left of
Uh-huh.
that car, but then all of a sudden they're just walking out from the bushes like nothing happened, you know. So, but yeah, GI Joe, and yeah, Cobra Commander. I
Yeah.
I like Cobra. I was the Cobra guy.
Yeah.
They were just the coolest.
Baroness.
Baroness,
Oh
yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Baroness.
Yeah.
Because who didn't
Yeah.
love
But
her?
then when they brought
Baroness
You know,
cosplay
I
these days, man. I gotta stay away from it.
that's it. That's
I
it.
gotta stay away
Lady
from it. I'm
J.
just like, yo, only when I can actually be around. I got a buddy of mine whose wife actually cosplays as the Baroness, and she's like a sister to me, so I could be around her. But everybody else, I'm like, oh man, I
Yeah.
gotta walk
Yeah.
that way because Baroness cosplay is no joke. No joke. Anybody that's doing Baroness cosplay is true to life.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep.
And
Watch out
what
for
I
your
loved was
stocking.
the crossover. This is one of those that they crossed over WWF. So we got Sergeant Slaughter
Mhm.
came
Which
in.
I thought
and
it was always amazing.
that
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
good. That was so
Mhm.
great. But GI
I-
Joe, a real American hero. If you're not reading the Skybound books, it's so cool what's
Yeah,
going on there
they
too
really
as well.
are.
Yeah, and Mr. Hama himself is writing
Mm.
those stories. Who wrote the
Yeah.
original GI Joe
Wow.
stories? So
Spoiler alert, because if you ain't read them by now, it's too late.
that's it.
Baroness is a Joe now.
Baroness is a Joe.
Baroness is a Joe. I
Yeah,
couldn't believe
but
it,
you know
yo. But
what?
yet it was like, but
You know what?
the turn of events
Revamp
that,
is.
huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but the turn of events that created
Mm-hmm.
that point. She's a Joe now, and the way they got her dressed now, you thought she was fly as Cobra. I mean, she's more. I would say she's more conservative as a Joe, and she was more liberal as Cobra. But either way, she still looked good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
still
find that
looked
one
good.
picture of Baroness as a Joe because, like, she looks. You're right. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And this
Look.
was one of the cartoons as well that kind of got me into ninjas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Snake
Yeah.
Eyes and
Yeah.
Storm Shadow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that got me starting to watch the old school Kung Fu Ninjas,
Mhm.
American Ninja, all those old school shows, which we could
Wait.
do a whole show on all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
Oh, let's do that because like old school Saturday morning kung fu. I mean
yeah,
Saturday afternoon kung fu was just amazing.
Kung Fu
Yeah.
Theater, baby.
Yeah, Kung Fu
Yes.
Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Let me
yeah.
say Imma point this out as well as far as G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
The movie, man, when the movie came out, first of all, shout out to the soundtrack for the movie.
Yes.
Man, you talking about the movie theme was on Thundercat theme level. It was that dope. It was that dope, you know? Dun, 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 dun,
Oh man,
dun,
now you got that
dun,
song in my
dun,
head.
dun. Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry, Cobra. Yo, I was like,
Yeah.
"What?
Yeah.
Hold on, what's going on here?" Yo, and they never aired that movie never came out the theaters. It was supposed to, but because of what happened with Transformers the movie, they
Mhm.
only brought
hmm
that out on TV. So
Yep.
when I saw it come on TV, I was like, "Yo, what is this?" So
This
the
is
theme, I was like, "Yo, this is dope." And then when you got to G.I. Joe was there, a real American hero. Yo, it
Yeah.
incorporated the original song into this new song. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." I'm watching this. I'm watching this, and I didn't catch it the first time when it came on, so I couldn't record it. So, but I kept watching the TV guide, TV guide, TV guide, TV guide. Okay, this is when it's gonna
TV
come on again.
guide.
I gotta
Yes.
watch it. I gotta record it. I'm gonna record it on VHS, and I've had that VHS for a long time until they actually came out with the official one. And I was watching that mug over and over and over again. You talk about the dopest G.I. Joe theme for a show. That was it for the
Yep.
movie. Yes, yes.
Kids these days will not know the patience you had to have waiting for your show or waiting for your
No.
song to come on and to hit that record button
Yes. Yes.
and make that mixtape,
Yes.
whatever it may be.
You both have old memories right there.
Yep. No
Yep.
one will have that. Now it's just like, hey, Siri, put together a playlist, whatever, Nope. Back in the day, you had to do it. Dungeons and Dragons, my friends.
Yeah.
Hold on,
There
guys.
it
Hold on.
was.
Wait. I just need to show this.
Wait a sec.
There we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
There's
Oh,
the
yeah.
new
There
Baroness
she
right
is.
there. And
There
she looks
she is.
amazing.
Yep.
God damn it.
Mhm.
Somebody cosplay her, quick.
I know. Yeah.
Not that she's
you'll probably
in
see
my
that
phone
one of
for any
the
reason whatsoever or anything.
it's your wallpaper. It's your wallpaper.
Yeah.
Good old Dungeons and Dragons, man. Bring into life that this again, like you said, Derek. We used our imaginations. I mean, this was we had the tabletop role playing games and stuff, and this was
Yeah.
kind of brought it to life for us and going, oh, this is so cool. We got a cartoon of the
Yeah.
game that we got to play. Did any of y'all play Dungeons and Dragons, and were any of y'all a dungeon master? So
I still need to learn how to play that game.
Nah, I never played Dungeons. I've seen it
yeah.
in some form, but I've never actually played it.
Right. I've always
Yeah.
wanted to, like
Yeah.
there's an inner nerd in me that needs to play Dungeons and Dragons,
Yep.
but I never got a chance to
Yeah.
like really sit down with a bunch of people and just like role play it or anything.
What was the
Yeah.
bad thing about me was in school, like I couldn't hang out with the cool kids, but yet I was not nerdy enough to hang out with the nerds to play Dungeons and Dragons. It was like you had to be in that social secret club to be able to
Yeah.
get in there. I mean,
Also-
I made out my character stat sheets and stuff like that, and I was like, "Look, I got my character," and I'm like, "Yeah, we're full right now." So
Yeah.
it's just like, oh.
Also, for me, and you spoke about this earlier, Jimmy, my mom is a pastor.
Yep.
And when it comes to the religious aspects of that whole thing, she
Yeah.
was not feeling anything
Oh my
that
gosh.
was not on God
Everything was demonic back then.
Yeah,
I remember
it was-
like
Yeah.
everything.
everything.
There was
man.
there
It
was a show or like a VHS tape we watched in church. It was called the Backward Masking the Unmasked, and they did the whole
Yeah, playing the record backward and
And
what
I'm like,
yo.
I can't hear nothing. I'm like, what? What's it?
Like, it's like, okay, if you say so. I don't hear nothing but them talking like gibberish. but,
And we had
okay.
the record burn parties and all that kind of stuff. It was
Well,
crazy.
yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was
I
that
grew up
like?
in it. Huh? It
What
was
was that
sad.
like?
It was sad to watch your
Uh,
Columbia Record House collection go up
hey guys,
in
guys,
flames.
next episode is when we talk about like old trauma.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Ouija boards.
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, no, to this day, I still don't mess with Ouija boards.
No, no.
They ain't got nothing to
There's
do
a
with
line you don't
religion.
cross.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I was
Ouija
gonna tell
boards,
you a
if they ain't got
story
nothing
about
to do
Ouija
with religion for
boards.
me, I'm just not going. I'm not. No, nah, I'm not.
Norbs.
So let
Yeah.
me tell you a story about Ouija boards, right? Real quick. So there's a time where I was actually like walking around in a Target and everything like that. And this was when Stranger Things was actually out, and then they had
Okay.
like this Stranger Things Ouija board there. And then I said, "Oh, that's a kind of a cool tie-in. I wonder what it looks like inside." And then I was just like, "Nah, I'm not even going to think about it, right?" And like,
Mm.
so I'm walking around in the same Target, and then all of a sudden, I like go down one aisle, and there's one that's completely open. Somebody took off the wrapper and everything like that, left the box out lovingly open and everything like that, saying, "Play with me." I was just like, no, not today, Satan. And I walked away.
Right. Right.
And then I swear about
Oh no, it's a
Oh
cliffhanger.
no!
later,
Please don't
I'm
disconnect.
over in Ross, just like checking out some stuff and everything on aisle, and it's there again. You know, I'm just like, no, what I'm just running away. You know, like that's kind of crazy
Oh.
when you actually see that whole thing.
Norbs, we
But like,
lost the climax of your story.
oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I would like just seeing this thing in another aisle and everything following me around though was just like, not today. I told you again, Satan, not this time, not now, you know? Walking away from this thing.
Right. Yep.
It makes it that kind
Some
of makes me
things.
want to just mess with you and just keep sending you like Stranger Thing Ouija boards and just have them.
You know what? You can actually do that. And one day I might play with it and everything. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Jimmy, I'm in the upside down."
All right, Mighty
There
Warbots.
goes my guys right there.
There they are, based off of Godmars. But
Go
yeah,
Mighty
very, very cool.
Robots. Go
Very,
Mighty
very-
Robots.
And it didn't
You know,
last.
Yeah.
It was one of those shows that just didn't last.
Yeah.
Amongst some other ones too, as well, that we're going to get into here in
So-
just a moment. But yeah, what do you got?
So let me tell you, the first thing that you actually see about Mighty Robots is the loud, boisterous trumpets and everything like playing, just inviting you into that show and everything. And you know
Mhm.
that you're actually in for a show as soon as you actually hear that theme song, you know?
Yep.
I'm sad that it would like I actually went away to Florida, and I kind of like when I used to live in New York, I came over for vacation. What probably was like one of the most miserable vacations I actually had as a kid and everything. Right? Came back, Mighty
Yeah.
Robots was gone. I secretly blamed Florida for that.
Wow.
Florida
Wow.
gets blamed for a lot.
Just saying.
Hey.
Florida gets blamed for a lot.
Yeah,
Wow.
but 5 super robots actually forming into the Mighty Robots and everything. They're
Mhm.
all like controlled by Rob, who was actually like their creator, and Ono.
Yeah.
That's small. They're a small little robot that actually
Yeah.
acted as the key. Just
Yeah.
one of the greatest shows ever.
That's
Indeed.
it.
Snorks.
Indeed.
We're gonna fly
Yeah.
through Snorks here. We all remember Snorks, right?
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
All
They didn't-
star.
They didn't have any toys. I don't remember seeing the toys for them.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember any either. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact.
Yeah, but Hanna
kinda-
Barbera, man, they could do no wrong with some of their stuff. Jabberjaw, all those ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, Snorks.
I kind of understand. I kind of looked at them like underwater Smurfs.
That's what
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
what they
That's
were.
exactly what they were.
Okay.
With no Gargamel though. Yeah. Oh, did they have a Gargamel? I don't know.
No, they
Anyway.
didn't. But this
Yeah.
right here, my
'Cause-
friends.
Oh yeah.
This right here.
Yes.
You know what they said was they said, "Hold my beer. If we could have cars turn into robots, why can't we just have cars turn into other
Like,
vehicles?"
Other type of vehicles. Yeah. Yeah. Looking in some of the weirdest transformations ever.
I
But
loved
was
it
just the
because
coolest shit.
the
This
main bad guy was overweight, and that was awesome.
So let me ask you, who inspired who first? Did Trax inspire Matt Tracker, or did Matt Tracker inspire Trax?
Oh,
Tracks.
You know, the
Trax,
Autobot
Transformer.
car, the blue one, who actually turns it, and then he actually has a flight mode.
Oh no. Okay, so I can probably answer that one. Season 2 didn't air until 85, but the concepts for Mass was being developed before then. So I would say they had no relation. It just happened that way. Yeah, I would say that. It was just they were each their own entity because the way Trax extends its wings is from the bottom,
Right.
and these are inspired. I would like to say that the Thunderhawk was inspired by the Lamborghini doors, and they just
Yeah.
Yes.
turned those doors into jet wings. So I would like to say that that was the way that was inspired. No one, there was no actual no one has actually come out. The original creators, which was Deke, who was also commissioned by Kenner to do the toys, they never really went into a history. I mean, Dan Larson went into the whole thing, but anytime Dan Larson is doing something that explains,
Yeah.
he's talking about the downfall of whatever that thing was. And I want to hear all that. It was like,
Yeah.
I want to hear the dark side of that. I just want to hear the happy moments of
Yeah.
that whole thing, though, the creation and the behind the scenes. Everybody that put their effort into the actual show. So that's what I want to hear about. But so you never got a clear understanding of how the concepts came about when it came to Mask. I
Yeah.
just know that the show itself was absolutely amazing. It was
It
cool to
was.
Yeah, it
watch.
And
was.
we got Loyal
Yeah.
Subjects re-releasing those. I cannot wait.
Mhm.
And I know, gosh, the Rhino, the BBTS exclusive is going to be
Yeah.
expensive, but I will be pre-ordering one.
Yeah.
So
Mass
yeah,
was that Mass was that show for me because that was also an after school show for me. That was the show because that was one of the shows that came on last, and it was like after I knew after I watched Mass, it was time to go do my chores. That's the one thing I
Hmm.
did know about Mask about the 80s back in the day, man. It's like when I finished watching Mask, okay, time to go take the trash out. So
NY Hunter got his Camaro because of the Thunderhawk. I want to see a picture of NY Hunter in his Camaro with his Def Leppard t-shirt on and all that good stuff. So
yeah.
I would love to see that. So
uh,
let's go. Let's
Ken,
yeah.
I need for him to get a mullet also when he's doing that.
That's it. That's it. Silverhawks.
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks. It's one I didn't get into. I didn't really
Partly
get into it.
metal, partly
What?
real.
Yeah, I didn't get into it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
are you
no.
serious? That,
I was the reason why I kept watching Silverhawks because I was waiting for the Thundercats tie-in with Silverhawks because they were from
Okay.
the
Yeah.
same
I
company.
always expected that too.
Yeah. So it was like if they did a tie-in at some point, I was here. I was gonna be here for it,
And
but they
y'all were
never
left
did.
wanting.
So
Mm.
yeah.
But
Oh,
I was.
Ken even makes it better. He had a mullet with his Camaro.
I
Oh
believe
my
you.
gosh.
I
I
want to see
believe
that.
you.
I want to see that photo now.
Yep. I truly do. I truly
Let me
do.
tell you, I'm actually always into science fiction,
Mhm.
cyborgs, and everything like that. I love AI and everything like that for being what
Mhm.
it is. I always was in for Silverhawks, and I always thought that it was actually like
What's up, Rusty?
such a
What's
great
up, Rusty?
concept for cyborgs. You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah,
That's
cyborgs
it.
living in outer space, fighting like interstellar villains and everything. Like it pretty much was everything that Thundercats wasn't on Earth. You
Yeah,
know,
That's it.
and they also still had their human awareness. They weren't totally
right?
robot. They weren't programmed to think a certain way or do a certain thing. There was just
Absolutely.
they had these bodies that gave them enhanced abilities, and they were actually given the frames that they got to endure the travel in space to get
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
Hawkhaven.
Yeah.
So, because it wasn't like they were flying from Earth to go up to the moon or something like that. It was a long travel to get to Hawkhaven in the
That's right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they explained all that. So it's just like, okay, it makes sense. So
There we go. Brave Star.
yeah.
Brave
Brave
Star. Good old space
Star.
cowboy. Some people call me the space cowboy. All right.
Eyes of
Uh,
the hawk, ears of the wolf, strength of the bear,
we got
speed of the puma.
Derek's going to be here all week, folks. He'll be here all week.
Yeah.
my only fault about that was I never got the horse that actually transformed
Oh,
into a
30-30?
humanoid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like aside from
Yeah.
that, it was a great show.
Guess
Oh,
who's
yeah.
making a 30-30 along with their Brave Star that they already made? Mama
Really?
Toys.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. They're making a 30-30.
That's
They had
awesome.
that they showed it at a show. I can't, no, it's Joe Fest. Joe Fest just passed and they had it there. They were showing it off there. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty dope.
Mm.
I didn't go in on the Brave Star line, but I think that they're going to do well with that one too. I just wish that I wish the figures that they were doing were larger kinda
Yeah.
because the Centurions, I think that they really had something there, but for me, it was just too small. And I'm talking about ramen toys, that is.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Brave Star was another good show that I watched after school as well. Look, it was like, we had all these shows. Did we get any homework done? No. That's why we
No.
had bad
That's
grades.
Yeah.
When we was like all these cartoons, we had bad grades.
that's what that's what homeroom was for, to get all that homework done
Right.
right there.
Right.
Right.
Those
Right.
Look,
30 minutes.
even in high school, I was still watching cartoons that I get home.
Nothing
I
wrong
ain't
with
do
it.
no homework either.
Mhm.
And then I'm late to get in the bus because I'm watching cartoons in the morning because I can't get my butt out the door. One time I was just got finished watching Bionic 6 because I was just like, okay, I watched that and I had to rush. I wasn't dressed or anything. I had to go get dressed and everything. I'm literally running down the street trying to catch my school bus. And my bus driver was like, "Man, no, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of sitting here waiting for you." And then, he just rolled off. Then I had to either walk or take the metro bus to school. That's the only way I got to school that day because I was not going back home to tell my parents that I missed school
Oh my.
and then
Mhm.
gonna have to
Oh
deal with that.
gosh.
Look, look, the 80's was such an era, man. It was just like,
It was.
I'm not explaining this. We were back in that day. We were back in that day where if you put yourself in a position where you had to explain yourself to your parents, it's a wrap for you.
Yep.
It's a wrap. Don't
Yep.
even worry about it. Y'all get to explain all that shit to your parents nowadays. You kids,
Yeah.
you
Talk
get
it
to,
out.
talk to them all you want. And you get to reason. They got a reason with you and all that. Stuff. Not my parents. My
Nope.
Yep.
parents had a belt hanging from the door. Every
Yep.
door that's
Yep.
going in, every door in the house had a belt hanging from it. Wherever you was acting up, that's the belt you was getting hit with. So yeah,
And
that's
then
the
Yeah.
after
era
that,
that I grew up in.
and
Oh
then after
yeah.
that, we had after school specials to talk about our trauma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That too. That too.
That's it. That's
Shout
it.
out
My
to
dad would
ABT.
always say, "You better not be crying when I whoop you, or I'm going to give you something to cry about." I'm like, "What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean? What are you going to show me pictures of
Wait
kids
a
in
minute. Wait a
Indonesia
minute.
that don't have any food? What is
Right.
this?" So it's just like, oh my
Yo,
gosh.
we gonna be here till the morning explaining all this, talking about all this.
That's
All
it.
right, Jim. All right,
I
who
think it's my
wants this
girl.
one? Who
That's
wants this
it. Wait, man card. I don't care. You can take my man card. I watched Jim. It was awesome.
Yeah.
one? Let me tell you. I was I watched the show every now and then, but I met um I met the real Jim. I met the real Jim in real life,
Oh.
who is um Samantha Newark.
Okay.
And first met her at BotCon years ago, and let me tell you, she is such an awesome person.
That's
I
awesome.
Oh,
mean,
that's nice.
she is awesome in real life. She is gorgeous, amazing. My girlfriend and
Yeah.
her got along really well, and they were got to know each other, and I mean, she's just the sweetest person in real life. Her character, you would truly understand that Jim, the character, was designed totally off of her
Mhm.
because she's a singer in real life as well.
I heard about that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
She still sings. She still does concerts to this day. It's just like, she's Jim in real life, So yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
this is an amazing show done in pattern after an amazing woman. I'll just
Yep.
say that about Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although it is kind of a show that actually taught us that cheating was acceptable as if it was actually with the same person.
Oh, right, right, yo. Let's talk about that for a minute.
There we go.
It's
Let
true.
me sully this thing about Jem real quick.
Yeah, yo. Between Rico was come on now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Look, Rico couldn't get away with that nowadays, man. I'm telling you,
True.
because Rico, bruh, you my hero in that whole situation, because this girl
You're being duped,
basically
Rico.
played both roles, and
Mhm.
you knew them two separately. And for her to
Mhm.
think, and for her to understand that she was hiding her identity, but not understanding the fact that she's cheating on you with actually another woman, but she's the same woman. Come on,
Mhm.
Rico. Y'all
Mhm.
should have grandkids by now. So
You got
yeah.
played, Rico.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I'm gonna
Rico
see.
was the ultimate player. Yo.
You want?
I'm
Just
gonna give
saying.
y'all a couple more. I'm gonna skip some of these, but I'm gonna give y'all a couple
Do
more.
we gotta skip any? Oh
Wait a
man,
second. Do we
it
have?
must be getting late.
It's getting
Do we
late. It's
even?
almost 11 o'clock. I know
Oh man,
Norbs is
dude.
like,
Do we
yeah.
even have any humanoids?
I don't know. Let me look, but let's look at this one first.
Oh, Turbo T.
Ah.
Yo,
Uh,
okay.
This
This
was
show
how
made
they
no
innocently.
sense
I
whatsoever,
know
but it was still a good show.
they taught you about puberty. If he got hot, he turned into a car.
Right,
this
right.
was our Rama one half.
Man. Yeah,
That
because I
show
saw
did
one
not make
episode.
any. Yeah,
I saw one episode. They spilled the drink on him. It had ice in it, and that's when he turned back into the human. I was like,
yep,
bruh,
yeah. This was like really,
bruh.
really. Come on, come
Yo,
on.
Every time he
this
turned
dude had
into
the ultimate hookup.
Here we
He
go.
there
friends,
we
the
go.
one to go out take the girls out on the
Yep,
date and get and hook up in the car. I got you, bruh. But don't
that's
spill
it.
the cold drinks
Yeah.
in it, man. That date is over.
That's it.
So,
Robotech.
nah,
Can
This
can
was
I say
this.
something about this one real quick?
Yes.
I like to say that as much as wrestling is actually a soap opera for men, Robotech was actually a soap opera for boys. That
It was.
was like
It
it
was.
was actually kind of like one of the first things that kind of taught us about death in
Yep.
real time and everything like that. You know,
It was. It was one of
Amazing
those
story.
that it was you had to catch every episode because it was a continuation
okay.
of the
Mhm.
story. And so if you missed one, you were like, what happened? They did a little bit of a recap, but it was one of those that was an episodic show, and that was a risk that they took, going, hey, can we do this? Instead of making a self-contained show, can we do it
Mhm.
episodically? And so good. If you haven't watched the original Macross, it's yeah. And this is
Yeah.
where we got Jetfire from. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
parts-
Yeah. I
Yep.
never really got into Robotech. I maybe watched maybe one episode, and that was probably me not really paying attention.
You should probably
to it.
watch it now as an adult.
It's on
Just to
Netflix.
see
I
what
think,
it
isn't
is.
it?
Yeah,
Yep.
because I
Yeah.
wasn't even, I didn't really pay attention to Robotech until Jetfire came out.
Yeah.
From the original G1, and then it was just like, okay, no, this ain't Skyfire.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
this ain't the
Right.
one we saw on TV.
Nope.
This is because we didn't get a real Skyfire until like years later.
That was
until
them.
third party.
Yep.
You
That
know,
was them going, we forgot to get the license for this to show the
right,
cartoon.
right, yep.
As an adult, you should watch Robotech. It's
The one thing-
so good.
The one thing I do think about Robotech is that I think it could have actually been so much more successful over here if Harmony Gold wasn't holding on to it with an iron fist and everything, with all their
Yeah.
litigation, all the other stuff that actually went on here. Like Robotech actually has such a rich storyline,
Yeah.
like giant robots being made to fight like the aliens that they were actually like modeled after and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was great as a kid to be able to say Roy Fokker. So
Sure.
There is an SDF1 toy that's getting ready to come out. It's like $400, but it's massive.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
There's a Lego set of the SDF1 that looks really, really cool. I know NY Hunter's building one.
I was just about to
for
mention
it
that
too as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got next here. Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, Pac-Man was a cool show too.
Yeah. Y'all remember when you ate the Pac-Man cereal and you felt like
Yep.
you were powerful when you ate those little power pellets, and you were just like, oh yeah, now I can take on the world, but you ate that sugar-fied goodness. But yeah, Pac-Man was such a good show, and it gave personality to the ghosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the video games,
Pay
of course.
attention to the show.
You did not? Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
so fun.
It was another
was so
ABC line. It was another one on the ABC line. Yeah,
Yep. Let's see here.
Saturday morning.
What do I got here?
Oh yeah.
Patreons.
There they
Oh
are.
yeah. Now
There they are.
I watched the show and collected the toys for this one, man. You talking about a universal toy where
Yeah.
you're attaching vehicles to actual human beings and in exosuits. This was my first introduction to Exo Armor. Before Exo Squad came out, before Sky Commanders came out, it was Centurions. And it was the coolest thing to ever experience on a show. And when the toys came out and these giant sized men, Um, and they, you can buy the suits separately and everything like that. Now, unfortunately, I had to live vicariously through friends of mine that actually had the Centurion toys, and then later on, and as an adult, I bought them myself, but I couldn't find all the armors and
Oh
all of
man.
that. So,
Uh,
um, but yeah, but Centurions as a show was really good. It was really
mhm.
good, and it was one of those shows that I watched after school, um, and you know, just really did a deep dive into those shows and everything. It never made it to. It never made it in the. It was never in my Saturday morning rotation because it didn't come on Saturdays for me. It's
Sure.
these shows. A lot of these shows came on during the week, and it was on either in the morning or in the
Yep.
afternoon after I got out of school. And I'm usually out of school at 3. I was out of school at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Everybody was out of school at 3 o'clock at that time. So, but
That's
yeah,
it.
but Centurions, yeah, was definitely the dope show. Ace McCloud, Jake Rockwell, Max Ray, yeah, yeah.
And then Derek, here it is.
Mr. T, Mr. T, yo, coming off the strength of his appearance at Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Mr. T was born. Mr. T actually was on Alvin. He made an appearance. He did an appearance on Alvin and the Chipmunks first,
Wow.
where Alvin, Simon, and Theodore were being bullied by these boys that was trying to make them do bad things. And then Mr. T came along and was telling them that, they ain't got to do all that. And then he confronted the bullies for them and then, made them, it was like made them feel like they were tough and all that type stuff. So as a result of his appearance on that show, he got his own show doing this. So this is where so if it wasn't for Mr. T, you wouldn't have got Mike Tyson's
That's right.
Mysteries, whatever that show was. So
Yeah.
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 But Mr. T, on the strength of that and promoting the US Olympics and all of that with the US Olympic team on that show, and also promoting diversity. This
Yep.
is this is this is the origins of this is the normal origins of where you talked about diversity
Yep.
Mhm.
and
Absolutely.
characters and people and all that type of stuff because you had people of all walks of life in this
Sure.
particular show.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he also had a dog with a mohawk.
yeah, and the team mom was named Miss Bigsby,
Yeah.
which got
That's
my
right.
mom interested because that's our last name, and she was just like, "What's Miss Bixby doing today?" And then she'll ask me and everything, and then that's what we'll be talking about. Because yeah, she was it was like she was the team mom, but she wasn't really the team mom. Anyway, but yeah, man, shout out to Mr. T, man, because that was another show I was really cool. That was really cool, and that was another show that also had Mr. T giving you life lessons at the
Yep.
end of the show and everything because he was talking
Yep.
about what happened in the show and how this person made the decision and he made the right decision after that and all of that while I'm eating a bowl of Mr. T cereal. So
That's
yeah,
it. That's like Xanadu for you there. Awesome.
truly,
And Dino Riders. Those
Dino
were pretty
Riders.
freaking cool toys.
Yeah,
I gotta say that.
Uh-huh.
shout out to my man Gort, who was heavily into Dino Riders and still is to this day. Never really got into the show myself, but it was still a dope show. It was still a
It
really
was.
cool
It
show and an
was.
awesome
Mhm.
toy line too.
The toy line was great. Yeah, absolutely. And then of course this guy,
Ah,
the
the
Oh,
original
the
GoBots.
Transformers.
GoBots.
That goes.
Yeah,
I'm waiting
You know what?
because Hasbro owns the rights to
yeah.
the name. Of
Now,
course, now the whole thing with the toys and stuff like that, there's still working out. I want a
yeah.
Well,
HasLab scooter.
oh, I want a
I,
masterpiece scooter. You know how much I want
Yeah,
a
a
masterpiece
masterpiece
scooter.
scooter.
yeah. I
Yeah.
want them to stop
But
trolling GoBots now, man, because it's like they
Yeah,
since they got the rights, all they
this
do is troll
this
GoBots now. It's just like, yo, man,
no,
come
but
this
on
is
now.
they've
I
actually
want
made a couple of
I have a GoBot command center. I mean,
I
GoBots
do
was
too.
it. I mean, and the thing about GoBots were they were just about doggone indestructible. They were like all die cast
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
and just crazy durable on that. It's just one of those things that Transformers marketed itself better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
it
waiting
did.
for Transformers to include more GoBots into
Yeah,
their
like
lineup. They
Leader
already have the
One.
Yeah,
Thrasher.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I
Leader
really
One needs
I
want.
to
would
be in
love
there.
to. I
Yeah,
love to see it. I would love to see it.
absolutely.
Shout
Uh,
out to our show that we do. I
yeah,
don't mean to do it. This cheap plug, real quick. So,
that's okay.
on our show, Do You Even Transform, Bro? We do a segment called Does It Still Hold Up? And I actually bought out my command center and we would
Oh yeah.
going through it. I re-put it back together. All the electronics still work on it. I put a fresh 9-volt battery in it, so
Nice.
with the so it can make sounds and all of that. And but yeah, Challenge of the GoBots was really the first Transformers show, first robot
Yep.
show.
Yep.
And you watch that, and you understood the dynamic of the actual show. So when Transformers came out, you thought that the Decepticons were going to be, because they flew. You thought that they were going to be the good guys because
Yep.
because of the dynamic, but it was actually in reverse, where the
Mhm.
vehicles were actually the good guys and the planes and everything that flew were the bad guys. So, but yeah, Challenge of the GoBots, it taught you to appreciate Transformers even more because it was so cartoony, and Transformers was more, like I was talking about earlier, it was a more darker type of,
Yeah.
it was a darker
Yeah.
version of GoBots, basically. So a
And
more
then
serious cartoon. Yeah.
Oh, Loco.
So Loco, man, you got that carded and in the, yo,
yeah, carded. A guy at a
put
convention.
that in the safe.
He's like, I don't want to pack this stuff up. He goes, I'll sell this to you. He had like a $80 price tag on it. I was like, I ain't paying 80. He goes, $25.
There you
I was
go.
like, done.
Nice.
It must
I was
have been
like,
a
done.
Sunday.
Yeah, he did not want to pack anything up. So the very last show, and I snuck this in, and it's like, is this cheating or not? Because it is Under the Wire. Of
Mhm.
course, their first appearance was a little bit earlier in the 80s, and it was on a late night show. But
The Simpsons?
The
The
Okay.
Simpsons.
Simpsons,
Kind of for the 80s,
Yeah.
yeah.
1989, first
Yeah.
debuted on the Tracy Ullman Show,
Yep.
right?
That's right.
Yep. That's
And
right.
is still running to this day.
To this day. They're
Uh,
in it. No, they're doing a finale now.
oh, are they? Well, I heard
Yeah.
that they killed Marge
They
off. That's what I
killed
heard.
Marge,
They're
and it was just like,
speculating it's not really true, but like I don't know.
yeah. I literally, right before we got on the show, I saw something popped up where they were talking about how she died and went to heaven and all that type. I was like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But
and
what's
then
crazy
Lisa
is
was
this the
the teacher or
longest
something.
running show in
Yeah.
history.
Yep.
Mhm.
And because it has so many episodes, it is able to like basically we see how it's like real life is imitating what's
Mhm.
happened on The Simpsons. It's like
Mhm.
Fox being bought by Disney
Yeah.
was on The Simpsons long, long ago.
Mhm.
Donald Trump becoming president on The
Yeah.
Simpsons,
Yep.
all this stuff. It was just
Yep.
crazy, just all the how connected Matt Groening was to pop
Yeah.
culture
Exactly.
The
on that. So
Simpsons at this point are actually just taking over for Nostradamus at this,
yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you
Truly.
what, this was one of those
Yeah.
shows that I did have to watch behind my parents' backs because it was one of
Wow.
those that they did not,
Yeah.
because
The
Bart was a
Simpsons?
rebellious teenager.
Oh, okay.
And it was that, they didn't like, it was one of those, the dynamic, because Saturday morning cartoons was all about obey your parents and things
Yep.
like that. And then all of a
Yep.
sudden this show comes out and it's making the dad look like an idiot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we had a rebellious teenager. Well, not a teenager, a rebellious kid. And so
Mhm.
it literally changed the dynamic. I think the reason why I chose this because it started changing the dynamic of cartoons
Mhm.
and started showing that cartoons became a viable media for adults as well. So,
Yeah.
so the Simpsons will always live in history, and they had some pretty cool toys too. You got to admit it. You got to admit they
Mhm.
had some
Indeed.
good toys
Indeed.
on that. But there were like when I chose all these slides, I still had like 40 more. There's like all sorts of shows. We may have to do a part two some other
Oh,
time, but
yeah. Hey, look,
Absolutely.
I'm down for a part
yeah.
2 if you want.
And we may have
Yeah.
to start going into the 90s a little bit. I don't
Okay.
know. We may do that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I was
Uh,
kind of thinking that you were actually going to be able that you were going to put in humanoids in here, and that's kind of like one of those
Right.
major shows that's
yeah.
unheard, that's untalked about, right?
It is.
So
It
yeah.
is. It
And I
is.
believe you when you say you got 40 more slides to go through, because there was a lot of shows
It
coming out in the
was.
80s.
There
Yeah.
were some that was what, one
Yeah.
season, some that were only 5 episodes, and then some that
Yeah.
just lasted the test of time. And
Yeah.
as we know, like all of this, what's so cool about what we did today, I did a lot of observing. It was just watching. It was almost like watching the kid Derek and the kid Norbs come out going, "Oh my gosh, I
Yep.
remember that," and
Yeah.
just remembering the good times,
Yeah, man.
and those things.
Exactly.
Because I know we're in a world, and I'm not going to get political and stuff like that, but there's crazy stuff
Yeah.
going on. We
Mhm.
got to have good feelings and good positive vibes, and I
Absolutely.
think
Mm,
80s TV shows can make that happen, and our
Yep.
toys that we collect also bring that out too as well. But
Yeah.
any last words from you all that you want to say, or anything you want to say about the 80s and the 80s cartoons before we kind of wrap things up?
Like I said before, the 80's taught me how to you know, really construct my imagination, to really to really accept the fact that it's okay to live in a make believe world,
Yeah,
in a real world. You know what I mean? The 80's gave you that ability to not take everything so seriously, but understand and know when it was time to take things seriously. You were able to separate what's real from what's fake. Not like today where everything is just so serious and everyone's so sensitive about everything. We grew up in what some like to call the Archie Bunker era.
yes,
And, it's just like, when you watch shows like that, The Jeffersons and all that type of stuff, you were taught that, you gotta have a thick skin to be around and do the things that we did back in the day, and which you did. We didn't get offended easily on, a whole lot of that stuff. It was just like, I mean, it was what it was. And then you just move forward. Long as nobody's stabbing a knife in your back and killing you, you was okay. So, and we used our fists. But, you know, the 80's for me was the golden era of my time,
yeah,
you know? It was the golden era where I can always look back and say, and look back and, remember a lot of the great things that happened with me in regards to cartoons, in regards to toys, in regards to life in general.
yeah,
And having parents that raised you to be the productive person raised me to be the productive person that I am even to this day. So yeah, and that's why I am the way I am, in our community right now, because it's like that's what we need. We need that positive
yep,
energy, that positive light, because it's so much of it that's needed because of what's going on nowadays, because we don't want to talk about it, but we don't have to. We can just live in the moment and live and basically learn and teach what we learned back then, and so it can carry on to the next generation of us.
yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? So yeah. So yeah,
awesome,
that's what the 80's was to me, and it still is. So yeah,
yeah.
shout out to the 80's.
Shout out to the 80s. Norbs, what you got? What you got for us?
I actually have to say, not only with the positivity and everything, because it actually did instill a lot of positivity and a lot of positive vibes and everything like that in us and everything. Not only that, but it also instilled us the ability to use our imaginations.
Mhm.
I think we're actually kind of like a very imaginative time back then. Like that, nothing could have actually beat the 80's as far as like where we actually expand and everything. I know
Mhm.
I was actually an artist and everything like that. I'm still an artist right now and everything, but it still like really taught me to like actually think of things more outside the box and everything like that. And
Yeah.
like with the 80's came kind of like a more of an age of innocence for us and everything like that also and everything. And I think like a lot of societal changes actually happened around the same time that schools actually started stop like having creative outlets and everything. And like when Saturday morning cartoons and all the other cartoons actually started slipping off and then just became more monopolized than like say the
Yeah.
Cartoon Networks and that sort of thing and everything like that. So I think it actually
Mhm.
kind of like gave us a lot of great things back then and everything like that, and instilled a lot of like proper values and proper like
Yeah.
ways of doing things. So like yeah, the 80's were just amazing just for that reason.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
It was a great time. It was.
Mhm.
Billy Joel, he summed it up. He goes, "Hey, we didn't start the fire, but we are trying to fight it, right?"
Mhm.
But anyway, it was just so great. I wish that my kids could have seen that. I don't know if they could survive. I always say that a good reality show would be is you take this generation, drop them in the middle of a forest and give them a atlas and say find your way home and no other technology and see what happens.
Mhm.
uh,
I
but
wouldn't be able to do it.
I
but
would.
Yeah, it was such a great time to be alive, and it was just one of those things where you bonded with people over toys and over cartoons.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much. I couldn't have had two better people to talk about 80s cartoons than you two, and so hopefully we can get a part two going, and we can get a
Oh yeah.
couple other people in here and have some fun.
Oh yeah, man.
But I'm old. I gotta go to bed. I know all of
We
us do
go
too
too.
as well. But guys, thank you so much, and thank you everyone that
Anytime.
tuned in too
Absolutely.
as well.
Anytime.
So
Looking forward
make
to
sure,
part two.
yeah, make sure you subscribe to Realm of Collectors, Diecast Norbs. Check them out on YouTube. Check them out on social media. I mean, Realm of Collectors has a ton of stuff. A lot of times I'm putting y'all stuff on while I'm closing the store,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of
Okay, that's what's
like
up.
things like that
Yeah.
there. So it kind of is a really good break from counting money.
Yeah.
But hey, y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to